all I'm gonna say is if nothing makes sense and sounds really disjointed in this explanation, it's because I don't understand it, and it's already disjointed and weird to me. Hello and welcome back to my floor. So today, I want to talk about another piece of Fever Dream Media. If you don't know, Fever Dream Media is what I call like pieces of media from our childhood that like very much so do exist, but just entirely feel like they exist in some weird dream state. So if you want a further explanation of that, it's in my 39 Clues video. But today we are talking about another book series, and that is The Missing series by Margaret Peterson Haddix. Yeah, so let's get into it. In advance, I would like to apologize if I sound a little hoarse. I was at a concert last night. Also, if I seem a little annoyed, I have already filmed this video once and then realized there was such a nice smudge across my lens that the entire video was blurry. I'm a little aggravated that I have to refilm this. So, yeah, let's just get into it. So, I'm going to start off with what I remember the books being. I know there's more books than what I read. I only read about 4 or 5 of them, and they're about like kids who had been removed from history, who were like getting sent back in time to go live out this history, but then also were still raised like in the 21st century. And they were like, there's like 36 of them or something, and they were all found on like a plane that was abandoned, but it has something to do with like this bigger time issue. There's a lot of time travel and time issues and like things like that. And that the main character, he is one of these kids, but his sister is also there, and his sister is like not adopted. She is their parents' kid. So that's like a really brief overview. When I looked it up, because I'm such a diligent little researcher and I read the Wikipedia, I found out that there was 8 books and then 2 sets of like short stories, and that they came out from like 2008 to 2015, which you wouldn't know by looking at the covers. They're a little rough. I'd love to say I edited those, but I didn't. That is what they look like. But yeah, so when I looked it up, I learned a lot. And I can't relay all of that to you because it's so complicated and confusing and makes no sense to me. So we're just gonna be in the same boat and not understand it. So I was right about the base plot, basically, but I didn't realize they don't actually do any kind of time travel till like the very end of the first book. So the entire first book is set up. These are targeted towards like children. That's too much setup. But they only go through like a couple kids' stories. Like the main character, his name's like Jonah. His best friend's name is Chip, and like Chip and his brother were both taken from like the 1940s, and he was supposed to be King of England, and like they do Anastasia and Alexa Romanov, Virginia Dare of the Roanoke Colony, Albert Einstein's daughter, and I think that's all the ones where they have like actual kids to like go back. And like normally when they go back, they have to like help this kid pretend to be the kid and like avoid how they die, because they're all taken because they die, basically. So yeah, that's the base plot. There is one book where they make Jonah go pretend to be like Henry Hudson, is that his name? The guy who like discovered part of America and has the Hudson River named after him. It's just, yeah, because like the last 2 books are entirely kind of about Jonah, because they like reveal that Jonah was never actually like a famous kid from history. He's like just the baby from an orphanage that they tried to pass off as Charles Limbaugh's after that kid got kidnapped. I don't know. It's also revealed in like the second to last book that Jonah has a twin, and then that twin just starts living with his family, but like the twin is from like an alternate, like this alternate timeline or whatever. There's so many like time things. Nothing makes sense. And books shouldn't be this complicated for kids. Because I was reading these as like a fourth grader. That's a little too complicated, guys. But no. And like there's also this secondary plot of like the guys who kidnap them, and then there's like a other bad guy called the Second who travels back in time from the future and like turns all the kids into 13-year-olds. And all I'm gonna say is if nothing makes sense and sounds really disjointed in this explanation, it's because I don't understand it. And it's already disjointed and weird to me. So, yeah, like that's the entire premise of the books. It definitely feels like the books were not written in what I would perceive the correct way to tell the story is, of like, maybe it should have been more short stories so we hear more about the other kids, or like, maybe it should have been more focused on like Jonah trying to figure out who he was and where he got removed from, because it's really just like, oh, we're gonna send these kids back and Jonah's gonna be on that trip too. It like never made really much sense. But also like the 3 levels of like bad guy is a lot, like, and like none of them are working together necessarily. They all have kind of their own thing going on. So it's a lot for a book series. I do, however, again think, much in line with my 39 Clues video, that this could have been a good like TV show or movie or something. It very much has this like big actiony like vibe to it that could have been good. Like limited run TV show, like 2 seasons maybe to get through all the plot points. Could be nice. Yeah, so this version is probably a lot shorter than the first version because I decided to not look at my notes this time and just do it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if any of you have ever read these books, because I don't remember anyone else reading them when I was a kid, just me. So like, yeah, let me know. I have like 2 more topics to cover for this specific series, so we'll see if it continues after those. One's a movie, one's another book series. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope any of this made sense. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you next time. And if in the next 2 videos I'm in the same outfit, mind your own business. I have people coming into town. But yeah. Okay, bye.